Look, I'm just going to keep this short and sweet. I'm sorry I haven't put up a podcast in about 3 weeks. This episode I talk about White Knight, I talk about my nose hair trimmer trouble again, and I talk about sports trying to jazz themselves up. Alright, enjoy. Ho, ho, ho. I don't know what the fuck that was. And I don't even care. Because right now, it is time. It's Saturday night. 6:58 p.m. And it is time for another episode of On the Way with Matty motherfucking K. I'm reasonably confident, everybody, that I will not get a full episode out. Pretty confident about that. I just don't feel as though the old iPhone 4 here that I'm still using, because I haven't made room again on the 6S. I just don't think it's got any more room on there. Like, are we still even going now? Is the question. We're still going. We're a minute 20 into this thing now. But we got another 45 minutes to an hour, possibly even more, to go, because tonight, my friends, I had to really slam on the brakes there. Tonight in the city of Melbourne is White Knight. So, you know, that could potentially really fuck up this drive into the city. I did have a meeting scheduled for 7:30 p.m. So my plan was to have left home like half an hour ago. So I should be halfway through my journey right now, but I'm not. It got cancelled. So here I am now, leaving home at 7 o'clock. Ugh. And yeah, here we go. But White Knight is on tonight, so that could, it was a couple of weeks ago I got stuck in a little bit of traffic, and I think it made for a pretty interesting and funny listening for the last 20 minutes of one of my previous couple of podcasts. So this one could be like that. I could get stuck in some traffic here and really start to lose my mind a bit. But I'm not really running late. Doors open at Electric Dreams at 9:30, so I've got 2.5 hours to kind of play with there. But it does take an hour to kind of do all of my setup and everything like that. So hopefully I'll be getting in there a little bit earlier than usual, which will be good. And yeah, just set up everything quickly. And which reminds me, I'm going to need to actually pull over and check that I have my big AO posters in the boot, because I don't recall seeing them in there when I chucked the big banner in the car just before. But where I am right now is hard to pull over. Fuck. Okay. But back to White Knight. It is White Knight tonight, and I if I remember correctly, last year and maybe even the last couple of years, I've left sort of earlier to get to work, thinking that it could be a real pain in the ass to get in there, and it wasn't at all. If I remember correctly, the last couple of white nights I've just sailed on in there. But that might be because I used to come in at like midnight, folks, because I didn't have all this other extra shit to do. I just had to come in and sort of MC. I should have pulled over there. Fuck. So maybe that's why I didn't encounter any traffic, because I was coming in at midnight. Right. Okay. Don't get too confident. Don't get confident, people. Don't get cocky or confident, Matty, that you're not going to encounter any sort of traffic here, because you probably will. Okay, really need to pull over. So I'm just going to pull over temporarily in this bus stop, and hopefully no buses will. Just give me a second, people. Give me a second. They're in there. All right. They were in there. We're all good. It's all good in the hood. And we're back on the road again. Just can't wait to be on the road again. The AO posters were in the back, they were in the boots. We are good to go, we are on. Let's continue, shall we? Yeah, so white night in the city tonight. I'm obviously not going to see any of it, really, because I'll be at work. Oh, okay. I think those AO posters liked it in the boot. I think they're just telling me that they want to stay in the back there. Well, you're not, alright? I've moved you. White Night and Electric Dream Saturdays. Also, that Electric Parade festival is on today at the Sydney Maya Music Bowl. I think there's even an after party for it at Studio 3 there at Crown. So it could be a very busy night up on L3. It's good. Last night, I don't know if did I even record a podcast last Sunday? I can't remember, but I know I did last Saturday. I was listening back to it yesterday. Hang on, when are you going to learn, Matty, about this fucking shit here? When are you going to learn? Alright, okay, I'm good. The fuck was I saying? Oh, yeah. I don't know if I recorded a podcast last Sunday, but I did last Saturday. And I was right. If you've listened to that, well, you haven't listened to it yet because I haven't put it up online. It was a bit of a, it was one of those weeks that you get sometimes. And everybody that I was talking to, that kind of works at Crown and everything like that, everyone had the same kind of night. It was just one of those nights that, it was just, there was a lot more problem solving and fixing of things than there was kind of enjoying your work. The fuck is going on here? Okay, we got lights still. We got the ramp signals on. Okay, I couldn't see because there's a big fucking maxi in front of me. Maxi taxi. We've just turned to get onto the freeway and it was just pretty much coming to a complete stop. And I was like, what the fuck? I don't think there even are red lights here, but evidently there are. Yeah, so hopefully tonight will just, be smooth sailing. I think it will be. I think for every week that I get where, I've got to go around and fix things and problem solve things, I get, 2 or 3 weeks where I don't have to do much and I can just focus on my craft of emceeing. So, yeah, I hope tonight will just be nice and smooth. I think it will. Alright, hang on everyone, I'm at the these traffic lights that they stick on the freeway entrances. I'm just at one of those right now. I've just got to get ready to explode onto the freeway. Fucking dickwad, didn't want to fucking, Alright. We're good. Oh, look, everyone. Okay, let me just check to see if I'm still recording. Okay, we're still going. It's been 10 minutes of absolute shit right now. But here we go. We're good now. We're on the freeway, and away we go. If you've listened to I believe it was the first podcast, and if you haven't, you can go back and listen to it. It's on YouTube, just On the Way with Matty K, #1, I think it was. Episode 1, I talk about this this problem I had with my nose. And it's flared up again, everybody. I've got this nose hair trimmer. And it's not a very good nose hair trimmer, because what it does is it kind of cuts my nose. So again, like about a month or so, excuse me, just got a hiccup there. About a month or so ago, on the first podcast, you'll hear that I had this problem where this nose hair trimmer like cut my nose, but it didn't cut it like there and then. The cuts and the abrasions flared up like a week later, a week after I'd used the thing. And so I used my nose hair trimmer again about a week ago. Thought, I'll be a bit more careful this time, and hopefully I'll work out how to kind of use this thing. But now I'm starting to think that the problem is not me and not knowing, how to use the nose hair trimmer properly. I think the problem is the nose hair trimmer itself, because it's cut me again. The same thing that it did to my nose, my nostrils about a month ago, it's done it again. I can't believe it's done it. And so again, I'm coming in on a Saturday night with being a bit self-conscious of this, these cuts on my nose. And yeah, it's just fucking annoying. So this nose hair trimmer, and I was gonna bring it with me so I could sort of, because I can't remember like the brand of it and stuff like that. I'm gonna have to go and check the brand. I think I spent like $13 on it. So, I'm kind of in two minds. What do? Do I just chuck it out and just forget it? And just, that $13 I wasted on it is just a write-off? Or do I go back to, I think it was a shaver shop at Chadstone and say, look, your fucking nose hair trimmer's a piece of shit, and I want my fucking $13 back. What do I do? Do I go back and take an already used nose hair trimmer and try and get my money back? Because I tell you what, after I bought this trimmer back in like, when did I buy it? Like November, I think. And maybe a bit earlier, I'm not too sure. But I bought this thing, and the people that worked there were very nice. But I noticed, because I go to Chadstone every sort of now and again, after I bought this trimmer, I walked past this same shaver shop, and they had out the front this big fucking cardboard box full of the same nose hair trimmer that was like now on sale. They had a whole fucking stack of them that they were trying to get rid of. And I can't help but think now, in light of all of the problems that I've encountered with it, maybe they're just trying to flog them off because they're shit. And all they do is cut your fucking nose and your nostrils open. But they don't do it when you're using it. These cuts and everything will flare up a week later. It's fucking weird, everyone. It's fucking weird. So I've had a problem all week now with this left nostril and my septum. And now, just in the last maybe 24 hours or so, the right nostril has kind of flared up a bit. And again, I haven't used the trimmer for a week. And these cuts and everything just flare up a week later. It's fucking strange. So, I don't know. I don't think I'll really be using this nose hair trimmer again. I think I'll just go back to using my my thumb and index finger to pull out these, long and wild nose hairs. Because although it made my eyes water a little bit more, at the end of the day, I think it did a better job than this fucking trimmer's doing. I never fucking cut my nose open with my fucking thumb and index finger, just ripping out these hairs. I don't know what the fucking problem is. So I've put some Bepanthen on my nose after my shower before, but this Bepanthen is past its use by date, so I don't know how great it's going to work. I think it'll still work. I think Bepanthen is one of those things that even when it's years past its use by date, it'll still work. So let's see what happens, everybody. Let's just see what happens. But now, again, I'm going to be at work just self-conscious about my nose, and if people are looking at it and if they've noticed the cuts and kind of the pus that kind of dries up every now and then that I've noticed. Again, I'm going to say it again, it's fucking weird. It's fucking strange. But I think I've learnt my lesson. And that is to not use this nose hair trimmer anymore. So, yeah, maybe I'll get some tweezers or something instead. I think I got some. And for those ones that I can't reach with my fat fingers, I'll just get the tweezer in there and just tweeze that shit out of there. This nose hair trimmer is essentially, it's like a, how would I describe it? It's like I'm pretty sure I've seen like a garden tool that is very similar to this. Like a hedge trimmer kind of thing. It's like a hedge trimmer for your nose. That's what it looks like. But yeah, it doesn't really work. It's a fucking piece of shit. So there's that. That's been probably my big problem this week. Let's check if I'm still going. Still going. 18 minutes in. We're at a good length now. Like this is, if it stops recording at any moment now, it's okay, because I think I had about the first 10 minutes where it was a little bit iffy because I was, running around putting posters from the boot to the back seat, and then, just trying not to get into an accident getting onto the freeway. But I think I've redeemed myself in the last 10 minutes or so. So if it does just stop recording right now, I think we've got a good length of time there that I can work with and still stick it up as a podcast. If I'd only got 5 minutes out, then I wouldn't even bother. But I think when you get at least 20 minutes out, then that's probably long enough to be able to put up online as a podcast episode. Just looking at some clouds in the sky. There's a few iffy ones. It's mostly fine, but there's a few dark grey looking ones in the sky. So, white night could turn into a bit of a wet night. Oh, what else is there to talk about? Here we go. This is something else I've noticed in the last couple of weeks. Are you like me, people? Are you a sports fan? I'm a sports fan. You know, I don't watch a hell of a lot of sport really anymore these days. But I've always grown up being a sports fan. I've played football since I was a kid. I don't really watch any TV, but if I happen to look at the TV guide and I see that there's some sport on, I might chuck the TV on. Unless that sport is cricket, then I'll turn the TV off. But I've noticed in recent weeks that there's a lot of sports, cricket is one of them, that are trying to, over the last few years, they've tried to really jazz themselves up again, and they've tried to kind of reignite and reinvigorate the sport. Not really sure why. I don't know, but I do have a theory that, you could pick any sport out there, pretty much any sport, and it has been the same rules, the games all look the same, to an extent, over the last 100 years or so. Not much has really changed in sports. Most sports have the same rules that they had 100 years ago, the same teams. A lot of things are just the same. Sports like AFL and NFL, the NFL seem to update their rules every year. They seem to add another 50 new rules. They got a lot of rules in the NFL. It's fucking strange. But AFL is a little bit the same. They might introduce a handful of new rules each year. But you've got sports like cricket that have, in the last few years, they've started like T20 cricket and, fucking Big Bash or whatever the fuck it's called. And rugby, they've got like this rugby 9s or 10s, I think, competition happening at the moment. Or they might have last week, a rugby league like 10s kind of thing. It's more like a pre-season little thing to get people ready for the real season that's coming up. But now they've got this like super netball and stuff like that. And last weekend in Melbourne they had the Nitro Athletics, which was all sort of athletics but not as you know it kind of thing. I think you had men racing against women and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of sports that are just kind of, I think they're just trying to jazz themselves up a bit and bring themselves into the 21st century. Look, I don't know, it's interesting. I think this super netball thing, I keep seeing ads on TV for it when I'm watching Friends. It's pretty much anything I watch on TV, repeats of Friends. I don't know when this netball thing starts. I imagine it's starting soon if they've got commercials on TV about it. But I think it's like, netball is like 7-a-side, your traditional kind of game of netball. This one I think is like 5-a-side. So they're changing things up a little bit there. And Collingwood and GWS and the AFL have teams in this netball thing. So you got that, you got cricket that is always trying to change itself. Because, let's face it, it's a fucking boring game. And I don't care how un-Australian that makes me sound. Cricket is fucking boring. Don't get me wrong, when I was a kid, I loved a bit of cricket in the summertime. A bit of street cricket. When I was at primary school, when the summer would come around, we'd be playing cricket. And I was no different to any other 11, 12-year-old kid back in 95, 96 who would watch Michael Bevan rescue Australia in the last innings of a fucking one-dayer. And he'd have to smash fucking 6 sixes off six balls, and he'd do it, and he'd win for Australia. And then I'd go to school like every other kid the next day, playing cricket at lunchtime and pretend I'm Michael Bevan. We got the last innings before the bell rings. I need to fucking smack 4 4s and 2 6s to win for my team, and I do it. and I'll raise the bat like Michael Bevan. But now that I'm older, I realise that cricket really is just fucking boring. I don't know anybody that plays for Australia anymore. Khawaja, I think he's about the only one I know. He's about the only one I know. I don't know any cricket players anymore. Yeah, but cricket is one of those games that, tried to really make themselves exciting over the last few years. I think, I think maybe we're all just getting a bit bored with sports the way that we know them. Like I said, they've kind of all been the same for 100 or more years, and maybe to bring them into the 21st century, we need to change them all a little bit, make it a bit more exciting. Basketball is one of those games that has always kind of been a bit exciting because you've got 5 people on each team. It's non-stop. There's plenty of scoring. So, it's always kind of been a popular sort of sport. AFL here in Melbourne, at least anyway, and the southern states of Australia, it's always going to be number one. It's always going to dominate. But again, it has that kind of fast-paced action, and it's exciting. And some games are pretty boring, but again, there's plenty of scoring and all this sort of stuff. So AFL is always it's going to be all right. Like I said, they'll maybe change a handful of rules every season or two. But the thing I like about the AFL is when those rules that they bring in don't work, they get rid of them the next year. Like that fucking interchange rule they had, that sub rule or whatever, where the guy had to put on the fucking fluoro jacket when he was on the bench, like they got rid of that fucking rule pretty quick smart, which was good. I don't think I would like to see the 9-point, like that super goal kind of thing come into play. That they use in like the NAB Cup. I don't know if the NAB Cup has started. I haven't seen any of it. I know the Hawthorn won though yesterday. Good on them. Good stuff. But yeah, I don't know if that super goal, that 9-point super goal from outside 50, if that's still on the cards in the pre-season comp. But that's one thing that I don't think I'd like to see it come into the regular season. I think we're just fine with the 6 points for a goal and the 1 point for a behind. I don't think we need to throw in the 9 in the regular. Let's just leave it the way it is. The scoring's fine. Yeah. One sport that doesn't really get messed around with is, and maybe it's because it's hundreds of years old, I think. It's probably like 200 years old, isn't it? It's at least 150. If the AFL now is 120, I think, because they had their centenary in 1996, I remember. And they had that Gold Cup, that North Melbourne one, and all year, I'm a Hawthorn supporter, I just really wanted Hawthorn to win, because there was a Gold Cup to kind of commemorate 100 years of football. But now we're in 2017, so I think it's the 121st year. So if AFL is 121 years old, and it is one of the oldest kind of organised sports in the world, but rugby union is older. Rugby union, I don't think, has really changed many rules or anything for 150 or so years. And it's one of my favourite sports, incidentally. I've for a long time now. I mean, you've got the international rules, Australia versus Ireland. It's not really, it's Australian rules football. As much as I would love it to be a worldwide sport, and I've always kind of said that if every country in the world played it, it'd be probably the number one sport in the world, because it combines everything. It's fast paced, it's high scoring, it's a contact sport. It combines a lot of the things that people love in a sport. But rugby union is like my favourite kind of international sort of sport. I love a good rugby union World Cup. rugby union test match. But yeah, that's one sport that I don't think has really changed any of their rules. This guy is just fucking flying up behind me, you fucking dickwad. Anyway, hasn't really changed any of their rules for 150 years, I don't think. And good on them. They don't need to. It's exciting enough as it is. Fuck, what do I do here? Fuck, I'm gonna have to... Fuck, I can't get off at Toorak Road now. I'm going to have to go through. Fuck! I've got my city link, but I don't know if it even works. I want to avoid using this fucking thing now, to be honest. Using these fucking tolls, these tollways, these tunnels. Just costs too much. And without this meeting going on now at 7:30 that was originally scheduled for tonight, I don't even really have to be in there just yet. So I could have got off at Toorak Road and taken another 10, 15 minutes, maybe a little bit longer depending on white night, to get in there. I fucked up, ladies and gentlemen, I fucked up, and now I'm on this fucking tollway. It's okay, Matty, relax. Anyway. So yeah, there's a lot of sports trying to jazz themselves up. And, I don't know. Good luck. Good luck to you. You can't really make cricket any more exciting. Unless maybe you bring in a rule where, last man's tucker. That'd be fucking exciting in cricket. Bring that into cricket. Do they have that in T20 or fucking whatever? Last man's tucker. That'd make cricket a bit more exciting. But then again, it'd make it exciting only at the end. You'd have the whole rest of the fucking day that'd just be boring. It'd be just like one day is, you know, like to me, the 50 over game, it's pretty fucking boring until the last few overs. If the scores are pretty close and you have a Michael Bevan that needs to come in and smash a few sixes to win the game, you know, like it's only, there we go, just made a noise. Is it supposed to make a noise? Confused. Should I just get off at Yarra Boulevard? No, I don't know. Oh, fuck, I can't now. I see a helicopter. It looks from here like a Channel 7 helicopter. No doubt taking photos of, or images of White Knight. Here we go. Strong as one, always. There's a Hawthorn billboard over this bridge. There we go. God! Hawkers! Was pretty fucking devastated last September. That Hawthorn Bulldogs prelim final. Was it a prelim? It was a prelim, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, like I said before, I'm a Hawthorn supporter through and through. But I really wanted us to go 4 in a row at the end, you know, of last season. I was really like, oh, I really wanted it. I think only like 1 or 2 teams have done 4 in a row before, and that was like back in the 20s. I think like Melbourne and Collingwood, I think, went through a bit of a glory period where they won, you know, 4 in a row or whatever. But yeah, I really wanted us to add that to our resume there. And when the Bulldogs came through on that prelim night, I was at the Hallam Hotel watching a friend's band play. So I had one eye on the band, one eye on the TV, and it was just heartbreaking. But you know, well done to the Bulldogs. They went on and they won that flag, and I, like everybody else, even though they beat us to get there, I was going for him on that day. And usually, they played Sydney in the grand final. Usually, if Sydney's in the grand final and Hawthorn's not, I would go for Sydney because my mum goes for Sydney. And one of my sisters, and pretty much my mum, like my grandfather, my mum's dad, and my mum's whole side of the family basically are Swan supporters, going back to like the South Melbourne days. My dad's side is all Hawthorn, including my dad. My mum and dad went to Hawthorn and Sydney in the grand final a few years ago when Sydney won, and the old man wasn't fucking happy. But yeah, but I didn't on this day. I thought, you know what, like, Sydney, I love you, and I probably would say you're my second team because, of everyone in my family that goes for you, but I think I've got to go with the Bulldogs on this day. So like everybody else, I jumped on that Bulldog bandwagon and I rode it all the way on that, I think it was the first Saturday in October, wasn't it? So, but I was thinking about it yesterday. I'm not too sure if the Bulldogs are going to be able to back it up. And I'm going to have every, fucking Bulldog supporter fucking, we'll fucking do it, you watch. Look, you had a good year, and you got a good side, you got a good list, and all the rest of it, but I just don't know if you're going to be able to back it up this season. I would not be surprised. And then I thought a little bit about it a bit more, and I thought, actually, Sydney will probably fucking be there again. But it could be two teams in the grand final, and I know it's February. I'm calling this way out. But maybe we could look back on this come September, October, and we'll see what happens. But I would not be surprised if there are two teams in the AFL grand final this year who haven't been there before or been there in a long time. Coming out of the tunnel, Kingsway now, and it is not busy in the slightest. Well, it's good. I don't have to getting in here 2 hours before doors open, people. White Knight has not brought me any trouble again. Yet. I probably shouldn't say that yet, because I'm not actually in the car park just yet. I might, they might fill up in the next minute or so with these handful of cars in front of me, and then I might have to fucking go to the exhibition building. Pain in the ass, have to carry fucking banners and shit. Check if we're still going. I'm a bit confused, everybody. I'm not sure what episode I'm up to. I've got an episode in here that I've marked as episode 9, but I think it might actually be episode 8. So I'm a little bit confused. So this is I think this episode is either 9 or 10. I'm not too sure. I'll figure it out. Not the kind of Facebook messages I was expecting, but they're funny. I thought they were going to be work related, but they're not. They're girl related. Someone just texted Facebooking me saying that he's... I know I won't say it. I don't want to get him in trouble. A guy I know is DJing at a birthday, and there's a lot of good looking girls there apparently. Probably don't need to indicate. So we're just sitting here now. There's, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars ahead of me that are waiting to get through those boom gates. Why didn't I do that? Oh, I'm such an idiot. Do I want to do that now? Do I want to give it a shot? I should have gone down Moray Street, cut through that other fucking street and gone straight up this fucking ramp that I'm looking at now to level 4. Why do I always forget about this? No, I'll leave it now. I'll leave it. It's too late now. I'm here. I'm going through. Just hope that everybody in front of me... I hope that everybody in front of me makes that that right-hand turn at each level instead of the left, where there'll be more spots. The smell of that tunnel has lingered a bit in the car here. Oh, here we go. I'm just really tired all of a sudden, people. Here we go. What do we got? We got this level is full. Upper levels, there's 440 spots. There's 8 on the lower levels. Let the fun and games begin here at the Crown car park. Alright, this may require a little bit of concentration and shit from me, so if I go quiet, bear with me. So far so good. Bit dark in here right now, what's all that about? Come on Janet, let's get up here. There we go. Janet is the name of my car, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think I've mentioned that before. Her name is Janet. Like everything, you've got to give it a name. And I like to go with the first name that sort of pops into my head when I get these things. So all of my guitars are named. The last car I had was, her name was Beth. And I got rid of her probably about 12 months ago. And now I have this car, Janet. Beth wasn't named after anybody. It was just the first kind of name that sort of came into my head. I think because it was she was a Hyundai Elantra. So a small, you know, little sedan, isn't it? Yeah, sedan type of thing. You know, I just thought, well, if she was a girl, she'd probably be little and cute, and for some reason the name Beth just kind of seemed like a little and cute girl's name. So I called her Beth. This one, Janet, is named after somebody. She's named after Janet Jackson. Now, why, I hear you ask? Why Janet? Why have you named her after Janet Jackson? Well, she's black, for a start, this car. She's curvy. She's got some nice curves about her. And she's got a booty. She's got a bit of a booty on her. So I could have gone with Beyonce, and I think I thought about it, but I thought, nah, it's kind of too obvious. I thought Janet. Let's go with Janet. You know, who's another black girl that's curvy and beautiful and got a big ass? So I thought Janet Jackson. I'm naming her Janet. So the car's name is Janet. So if you ever see me around driving this thing, say hi to me and say hi to Janet. This person in front of me, what are you doing? This is what I'm talking about, people. Like, he's making a reverse park that is a bit of a silly one to try and make. You know, there's plenty of spots here. I'm going up to level 6, but I might come back down to level 5 because I think it's going to be a bit of a cold night and I just don't want Janet out here catching a cold. So let me just go back. There's plenty of spots up here on 6. Let me just go back down to 5 because if she catches a cold, she won't start. Because by the time I leave here, it's going to be, 5, 6, fuck, who knows, could be even later in the morning. And if she's out in the cold all night, yeah, she might not be too kind for me when I go to start her up. Let's get out of the fucking way, people, so, There we go. Okay, I'm on level 5. I really want to get to, like, Metropole end of level 5. Because it's just easier for me with all the shit I gotta lug up there and lug back down at the end of the night. Okay, there's no parks really where I wanted to park. So we will have to go just that little bit, she's pretty, just that little bit sort of further. That little bit further in finding a spot. There are plenty of spots, but I like to just sail into car parks easily. So what am I going to do here? I'm going to turn around this way. I'm all about, when it comes to parking, people, anywhere, whether it's Crown or it's the fucking supermarket or wherever, I'm all about the easy park. If I have to, because I encountered this with a couple of people the other week. Where were we? I can't remember where we were. It was Macca's. I was going to go through the drive-thru, but then they wanted to get out and go and order, and go inside. So, oh shit. I just smacked Janet's nose into the fucking wall. I'll check that in a minute. I think it'll be okay. I hope. Fuck. Ah, fuck. I'm all about the... Yeah, look, I'll check that in a minute. Fucking hell. I'm all about the easy park. I went to Macca's and these people wanted to go inside, so I just parked the car. But I parked it as far away from the Macca's door as I possibly could have, really. And they just sort of looked at me and were like, oh, okay, you're going to park here. And I was like, oh, well, yeah. Well, you want to go closer? Like, they wanted to go closer to the door. I'm the kind of guy that I will park all the way at the end of a car park if it's nice and easy to get into that car park, rather than fuck around and have to straighten up and try and not hit cars around me or in front of me or behind me and all this sort of shit. If you have to walk a few extra fucking meters, that's what I do. Anyway, I got to fucking get out of this car now. I'm here, and I got to check and see if I've made any damage to the front of Janet's nose, because Janet might need a nose job, like Michael. Anyway, Electric Dreams tonight. Every Saturday night, Club Co Level 3 at Crown. Every Sunday, Superfly Sundays, Therapy Nightclub Level 3 at Crown. I'll see you guys around.